You really gotta be careful what you ask for. You ask to share the video, you want people to share the video, you want people to expose or, spread the information around. But then some people may not appreciate the message. Some people may see through the message. Some people may critique the message and the messenger in ways that you don't like. This does not mean that they are demons. This means that they are critiquing what you present by your videos. You often like to say people are cancer cells trying to disturb the spreading of your message. You like to say these people out here, outside of your group, are demons and interested in your downfall because your message is so divine. Again, many people disagree with this idea that your message is divine. Many people disagree with this notion that you are divine. Many people take a look at what you're doing here and how you present yourself and your information, and they scratch their heads, including a gentleman on a channel known as BBC that recently was curious about your boy.
With young people claiming to understand the truths of the world, they preached on social media, but lived amongst the trees of Costa Rica. They called themselves MelaNation.
MelaNation in the building, we got the whole fam today.
I decided to go and meet them.
I love myself. Actually, share the video. Please.
My guide was a woman who used to be called Kayla. Now, though, she switches between Sunbeam and Jasper. She was visiting a waterfall with some of her friends.
How old are you guys? I'm actually immortal. I don't die. Energy never dies. Albert Einstein says this.
Dude said he immortal, he don't die.
Living a righteous path, living the righteous path, the narrow path.
Would you say that you're part of MelaNation, or are you?
We are MelaNation.
You are MelaNation.
Right.
Is this like a big?
There's MelaNation.
Yeah, like beings from all around the world, but are coming together.
For example, like many of the groups here, the main message is getting close to nature. But there was something else.
MelaNation. That's why Nature Boy changed the name too.
The pigment in our bodies that determines our skin color. The group believe that living in the sunshine of the tropics can make them superior beings. But this belief seems to be based on a discredited racial theory that the darker a person's skin becomes, the more their intelligence increases. It's nonsense. But one person who seemed to believe it was the group's charismatic leader, Nature Boy.
So if you lack melanin, you are genetically retarded.
You're never gonna take my spirit. I'm here forever. I am the black man. I am God. I love myself.
Oh.
All this.
This dude said, I love myself, bitch. I am God, motherfucker. Look at me. Recognize who you dealing with, bitch ass niggas. You know what I mean? That's again more of this what High Priest Quatamani refers to as the deified self, bigging himself up to that degree. And I think it's interesting that this guy on BBC calls Nature Boy's message of melanin being superior. He says that that's a bunch of nonsense. But he's still curious and wants to learn more about this MelaNation. He's already met that one member. She was the one from Canada that came, whose parents wanted her to get the fuck out of MelaNation. And they have taken the idea and the whole message of MelaNation and created their own family. That's something that Nature Boy can be proud of. That's very interesting.
It made me feel uneasy about MelaNation. And then I came across these news stories online about Kayla, the woman I just met. It claimed she'd been brainwashed into joining MelaNation. The press report said the community was a cult led by Nature Boy.
Am I controlling and manipulating your mind?
I felt like I belonged here. That's why I came here.
Nature Boy moved to Costa Rica a couple of years ago after being awoken to the flaws of Western life. His plan was to create a community entirely of what he called melanated people. At first, it had just black members, but as it grew, white people were admitted. Anyone could now be melanated and gain greater enlightenment by getting brown in the sun of Costa Rica, living close to nature.
I love myself, man. Feel me? I
love myself, man. Feel me? And that's so he's changed the name for MelaNation to Carbonation now, for your information. Maybe to distinguish himself from what he created, which was nonsense and bullshit and nonsense and bullshit. I think it's good that the BBC leader did not go into this gentleman's past, which we've already discussed. We don't have to talk about what type of activities he was involved in the past, but, you know, this is an objective so far. It's a pretty good presentation.
Information. I'm out here.
Hundreds of people joined him thanks to his preaching online. But then, disaster struck. Nature Boy was deported due to visa problems. But he hadn't been silenced. He was continuing to preach his message to his followers over social media.
It's all good though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not going to be stopped. They can't stop this. We're a human form.
What I'm doing is beyond Martin Luther King. It's beyond Malcolm X. It's beyond... What I'm doing is beyond all of that.
Very interesting. So what he's doing is beyond Martin Luther King. So he's putting himself beyond these martyrs. He's putting himself beyond these real, he's put himself beyond Malcolm X. What? That's the deified self. That is him speaking of himself in a high manner after what just happened in Costa Rica. He still speaks of Costa Rica and his stand on that bus as if he was some sort of Rosa Parks. You know, he didn't do anything but get himself kicked out. That was all unnecessary and crazy.
And in Costa Rica, people like Kayla were still following his teachings.
What's Nature Boy like? Because he's quite the character, isn't he?
Yeah, when I watched the video, I felt like I need to be with him. I messaged Nature Boy this exact same day. I was with MelaNation within like 2 weeks.
Honestly, you're watching the first video. Wow. What were your family saying at this point?
I mean, I don't really consider them my family. I don't really talk to them much. The only one I really talk to sometimes is like Blood Mother, and she has never really been like supportive and like uplifting.
Nobody cares really. But he goes and he ends up speaking with this young lady who was in MelaNation for a couple of weeks, and she didn't like what she saw.
After talking on the beach, Ave and I went for food, where she spoke more about what life is really like with MelaNation and Nature Boy.
Could you just tell me a bit about kind of what was it like?
Everyone goes to sleep at the same time. Like, when I was there, we was all sleeping in one room, and, you know, if Nature Boy is not done talking or done doing this, then we don't go to sleep. Like,
Did you ever have a situation where you went against the schedule?
yeah, I got in trouble for missing a meeting, and what I was doing was putting him to sleep. They see him as a father, you know, they see him as like their master teacher. You know, you don't disrespect the master teacher.
Is it a cult?
It is.
She said, yes, it's a cult because, you know, he makes you sort of go to bed at the same time. He makes you go to the meetings. The young lady just speaking said she got in trouble because she was putting her son to sleep and was a little late for a meeting. This is what we mean by manipulation and control and confusion and bullshit, and the type of guy that is not quite ready for what he's doing. He's not ready to call anyone else a cancer cell when he is literally sort of like a spiritual predator preying on unknowing, curious souls, manipulating them, putting them under a spell.
Nature Boy was still preaching online, convincing more people to move to Costa Rica, to become enlightened and melanated in the tropics.
Government official.
His posts getting thousands of hits. I got a hold of his number and tried to arrange an interview.
Story, man. I promise you, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a whole scoop of everything that I figured it all out, trust me. I'm going to articulate the
shit out of. I want the world to know what's really going on behind the scenes. And
We'd agreed to meet up in the US in a few days' time. Many MelaNation followers seemed to believe that Nature Boy was a prophet. They called themselves the Chosen Ones.
I've seen the future.
But videos were emerging online of former followers attacking him and the paradise he preached.
It ain't because of your color, it's because of your nasty attitude and your crazy eyes, your shape-shifting eyes, you reptilian.
Oh.
This is white. This is white.
I arranged to meet up.
This is white. He's not white. So again, Nature Boy wants people to share the video, but the only critique he seems to like are people who likes him, which is very odd. But again, that's a sign of a cult leader. The type of cult we're talking about are people who don't really have any real insight. They don't really have any divine connection. They don't really have or understand what that is all about. They're just sort of out here talking nonsense, talking bullshit, and they sort of take away some of the power of these people behind him. You know, this guy, he left. He was pissed off. These guys are now MelaNation somewhere else. The guy in the back, I don't know. There's a couple of people that left him because he's a horrible leader. And he hates criticism. Any criticism is called demon talk. And that's a classic example of a narcissistic demon with an ego. When we say ego, we mean the type of ego that says, don't criticize me. I'm above criticism. You better say only positive things, unless, and if you don't, I'm going to say you're tearing me down, and look at you, and you're going to say I'm a black man. It shouldn't be tearing you down. Reality is your actions, your words, your inactions, your double speak, your confusion speaks for itself. We are just reporting it, and that's what you hate. We are reflections. Reflection.
But with a man named Golden Boy, who was one of MelaNation's most committed and closest followers. He'd recently decided to move on and make his own community, in the jungle with his girlfriend.
We've done it. Golden Boy, what's up, man? How's it going? Nice to meet you, man.
Y'all remember Golden Boy?
How's it going, guys? Nice to meet you. I guess you're his girlfriend.
Golden Boy is the guy who revealed that even, right when their van was stolen, Nature Boy was trying to plot on how to run away. He was saying he at first wanted them to run away from the cops as they were waiting for the immigration van to come pick them up. After that, immigration people, took their van for having unregistered licenses. He's the guy that said Nature Boy was thinking about actually running from the authorities, physically running.
Soulmate, I would say.
Soulmate, okay, cool. How do you differentiate soulmate, girlfriend?
Golden Boy
I
soulmate.
just feel like it's deeper than that, like our connection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
I mean, this is paradise.
Mm-hmm.
You're as into nature as Alex?
Sure.
We were both awakened by Nature Boy.
Sure.
How were you awakened by Nature Boy?
This guy popped up with his shirt off, and his titles are pretty out there. He's onto something. He's onto something.
Do you? Is this what you did with Nature Boy?
Oh, we did a lot of... Yeah, we did some exploring.
What's your relationship like with Nature Boy now?
I don't even talk to him.
Not at all. Is it essentially that you do as Nature Boy says? Is that pretty much the deal?
Kinda, yeah. In a way. You get caught in the attachment, the emotion. So I literally gave my money to him.
How much money did you give?
Well, I just gave him my debit card, which had like $1,000.
Yeah.
He was buying a lot of materialistic objects.
It's about how you use the material thing. It's not
Yeah,
about
of
what the
course.
material thing means.
But do you really need a ping pong table?
Do you need sportsmanship to foster brotherhood? Yes. So that is a utility. It's not just an object.
No, of course, yeah.
Good comeback.
Is there something about the world that
the kind of...
See, it's good that they presented that. There seems to be some differences, but he's the one that spent time with MelaNation, not that other guy speaking, right? He's saying, look, we're out in the woods and this guy's buying materialistic things. I mean, he brought out the ping pong table, sure, but we all know the guy brought, like, high-end laptops and all this other crap, and they're supposed to be respecting nature? Come on now. What do you all think?
Conventional mainstream world, the Matrix, that you don't like, that you're running away from.
Of course he's mad. He's always mad.
He's always mad.
He's very egotistical. He doesn't want people to ego. He doesn't want people. He wants this certain image about him, and he doesn't want it to be rearranged.
He's kind of mad that...
Of course he's mad. He's always mad.
He's always mad. Nature Boy's always mad.
It looked like now my chance to meet Nature Boy was over.
Again, we get another look on what we are talking about when people are saying you got that ego. You ego-fied. That means when you are challenged, you break out in hives. That means when you are challenged, you call somebody a demon instead of listening. That means when people disagree with you, you think of them as cancer cells. That is your ego inflated. Yes, everybody has an ego, but some people don't need to have control over other people. Some people don't need to tell people when they need to sleep. Some people just control their own sleeping patterns. What do you think?
And that the curtains may be closing on the paradise and dreams of MelaNation. More and more people were speaking out against them online.
This is why I decided to leave MelaNation, because I have different views on life than Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Brainwashed his ass.
Plus, I don't like how the women are being treated.
He was extorting money from a young person.
A lot mentioning money. Even Nature Boy seemed to admit to taking $300,000 from a follower.
Somebody donated me about $300,000. It's all gone now. I don't have no more to give. You can't join me unless you have something to offer me.
And then you complain about they took this and they take that and they leave. Ran everybody that was there out.
And he was resorting to posting defensive videos online.
These people that are talking about me are really your obstacle. Because what I'm saying is divine.
Right.
It felt like Nature Boy had become a big part of the film. So I mean,
dude is like, listen, I got this message. I got this divine message, baby. Fuck what you heard about my exes. Fuck what my exes heard. Fuck what you heard about all these other people that have been around me, baby. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to whisper in your ear. Whisper these sweet nothings, baby. Because even though I got this message, baby, I got these sweet nothings I'm trying to whisper in your ear, baby. Put you under my spell, you know what I'm saying? And manipulate you to move your energy and move towards my way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you these sweet nothings, baby. Just respect my message, baby. I'm kind of like these kids that comes on the subway trains, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, listen, baby, just let me give you my message. You know what I'm saying? Give me a donation. I could be out here robbing your cousin. I could be out here stealing things, but instead I'm giving you divine message. Yes, I know. I may be a little crook. I may be hustling for real, but it's a divine message. Yes, I know. I manipulate women. I yoke them up. I disrespect women. They can't really disagree with me, or they demons. I kick them out. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to give you a divine message. I'm the father. I'm the greatest. Yeah, but if you try to disagree with me, I'm gonna call you a demon. And anybody who go against me, it's their fault. It's never me, including High Priest Quatamani. Yeah, I know. He's been an elder. He's a high priest. I understand he's gone through everything he's gone through, but he's nothing like me. He's never been to jail. He's never been a gay escort. He's never been a gay stripper. You know what I'm saying? So what I think matters, not High Priest Quatamani. Who cares about his wisdom, his eldership? Who cares about any of that? I'm Nature Boy, because I got that ego, and I'm stupid.
Made one final attempt to see if he'd talk.
I thought you was in a jungle somewhere, see? You see? This is the kind of people we deal with, man. I'm not doing an interview with BBC.
Oh, man. So he chooses not to do an interview with BBC. Why not?
Costa Rica
Scared?
probably is one
Say
of
you
the closest
scared.
things the world has to paradise. But I'm not sure it contains all the answers some here are looking for.
One thing that's interesting about this BBC presentation is that they didn't get into too much, that he's no longer in Costa Rica. They did talk about that, but he didn't talk about the fact that they're in Belize now and all this other bullshit. He didn't say that they changed their name. He didn't get into Alicio's personal stuff, his background, all this information. But I thought it was interesting that he hit the BBC channel and you get to see what people are saying about your boy, Nature Boy, who is now father to Hootie, lose booty on duty, the so-called leader of carbonation on BBC, on Cults. It's called Searching for Nature Boy. Very interesting, y'all. Thank you all for watching. And again, it's important to understand when you're looking at this man, Eligio, Nature Boy, father to Hootie, you're looking at a guy who just enjoys talking. That's it. He's got a way with words. He may be what he calls a wizard, putting spells on certain kinds of people that fall for it, watching how his spells manipulate their energy. He knows these things. He knows these things. He spoke about it in his last video about ego. And again, an ego is, again, the concept that Nature Boy and Eliana, Velvet, Marquez, EJ, are clueless about. The ego we're talking about, the ego that his followers who leave his crappy MelaNation talk about, is this ego that says he is not to be challenged. If you disagree, you're a demon. You're a cancer cell. That's the ego. The ego is what gets inflated once criticism hits you and you can't handle it. You buckle under pressure. You start getting antsy and agitated and fidgety, and you start getting aggressive, and you need people to believe what your message is saying, but your message is bullshit. Your message is that we're all reflections. Here we are showing you your reflection. You're calling us demons, cancer cells, which only reveals the demon and the cancer cell in you. This is live with Marwan Tomodachi, revealing the cancer cell that is Nature Boy. We're doing him a favor by showing him his reflection. And only a demon, only a deified self would deny, ignore, purposely neglect the facts and the truth in that reflection. Thank you all for watching. This is Marwan Tomodachi, live. Peace out.